Hello, my crafty friends. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Linda Edwards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Crafty Heron Designs. And I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful, fun fold birthday card. We are going to be using the Layers of Beauty stamp and die set along with the masks. So I'm going to show you how to get all these beautiful colors, how to use the masks, and also how to make the card. So you could certainly use the happy anniversary that came with this stamp set, but I didn't really have an need for an anniversary card, so I'm using the birthday wishes. It comes from the Simply Said stamp set. It's got a lot of great sentiments in it, but you could certainly use whatever sentiments that you have available in your stash. We have lots of great sentiments. If you are joining me because you have made a purchase from me and earned the card tutorial or the card kit, thank you. I appreciate your support. What you will get is this will be your card kit, and I will go through all of the details on putting together, assembling the card using your card kit. And I'm also going to give you the dimensions, so if you didn't purchase the kit or make a purchase, you can make this on your own. We are going to be using Pebbled Path, Mossy Meadow, Petunia Pop, and Pretty in Pink as our stamps. This one I actually used black, but I'm going to try it with the Pebbled Path. I'm going to see how that works, and then you can let me know at the end. I felt like the Pebbled Path might be a softer kind of an image. I am using a Stamparatus, a stamp positioning tool, but it's not mandatory that you use it. You'll be fine without it. But because I'm going to be doing this in a class with multiple people, it's just easier, I think, for people to use it. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So, of course, you'll have your envelope, and there will be, in your card kit, I'm realizing I'm missing something. The first piece is the card base, and this is just a standard half of a piece of standard cardstock. It is 8.5 by 5.5. It is scored, it'll be this way, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and fold that over and burnish it. It's the first thing I like to do, get that done. And because this is a Z-fold, I'm gonna burnish it on both sides. I wanna make sure I get a nice crisp edge there so that it folds for me. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do it that way. Okay, so this is the Pretty in Pink cardstock. This is it's one of our new in colors, and I just love it. You'll have a layer of basic white that's gonna fit on the inside, and this is its standard layer, so it's gonna be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then you'll have a piece of scrap. This is, you'll notice it because it's got the little notch cut off of it. So if you get a kit, sometimes it's confusing which side. These are so close in size. You don't need one this size. This is actually a quarter of a piece of cardstock. It is 5.5 by 4 1/4. You can use something smaller, but I wanted it to be a different size than this so that it would be apparent to you which one to use. And then you'll also have a piece of, let's see, this is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. This piece is going to go here. And then you'll have another piece of designer series paper, and this is the same size. So that's 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and this is going to go on the inside. So depending on your kit, you may have this one, which is from the Unbounded Beauty Suite. It's the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper, or what I used here is actually from the 2024-2026 in color 6x6 pieces of paper. So either one will work. I was just looking for something that had the Pretty in Pink, and I thought that they both worked really well. And then, unfortunately, you can see what happened to me. I got some ink on my envelope, but you will also have in your stash a piece of designer series paper that you're gonna put on the envelope. And you'll just attach it to the top of the envelope and then fussy cut it around the edges. And this is also a piece of the Unbounded Beauty, but your kit may have the in color. And this piece, if you're looking to make it on your own, I cut them 6 inches and 2 1/4 inches, and it gives me plenty of room. It just kind of fits to here to be able to cut that off. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. I want my sentiment to be on the inside. And I think I'm going to go ahead and let's do this first. Let's go ahead and attach this to the card base. I do normally like to do all my stamping first, but I think in this case, I want to be able to see where that stamped image is going to go. This I did emboss, and if you got the card kit, it will be embossed for you already. This is the Distressed Tile Embossing Folder. You see that? I thought it went really well with this set. And I do have the embossed side up, but you can do it either way. And this is on the front. I do like a lot of white in my cards. I just think it's really pretty. So that's why I'm doing that. So again, I'm not gonna adhere this down yet. I wanna stamp it first in case I mess up. But this way I can see where I want my stamp. And I know it's gonna be pretty close to the right side there. So just double checked that. And I'm gonna bring in the Pebbled Path ink, set that aside. And it is a photopolymer stamp. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, which has disappeared. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, Stampin' Pierce mat. If you don't have a Stampin' Pierce mat, you can use a mouse pad if you still have one. With all these track pads nowadays, we don't often have mouse pads anymore. Let's try this. Let's just see. I just want to make sure that this is going to work. Yes. Okay. So I do a sample. I like to, you know, kind of test it first. And as you saw, I kind of lined it up, and I know it's going to be up to the fairly tall, and I'm going to move it over to the right. So there we go. Okay, and that's going to be the inside of my card. So that's going to go on like that. Let's see. Perfect. And let's go ahead and attach that. And then of course you'll have room to write on the left side of the card. There you go. So as you can see, this is pretty easy Z-fold, and this would be a nice one, you know, getting into Christmas season. This could be something pretty straightforward that you could make for Christmas. I don't know that you would want to do the stencil, but the basic part of the card would be really fun and easy to do. So I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up no longer sells it. I've got mine all lined up, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I did. So I am using the pad that comes with it because it's a photopolymer stamp. I made a little template for myself and just cut out a corner so that I can put this in like this. And the reason for that is because this is such a large stamp that I don't want it, let me see, like that. I didn't want it to be way in the corner. Sometimes it's hard to get a good image if it's way in the corner. So I'm gonna go ahead, and you see I've already put the stamp on the plate. But if I didn't have it yet, I would go ahead and lay the stamp on top of my paper and then just close it. And I'm just looking to make sure that it's all the way around, that it's entirely on the paper. And I'm going to bring in my Pebbled Path and go ahead and ink up my stamp. And of course, the beauty of having a positioning tool is that if the image isn't nice and crisp, you can go ahead and stamp it more than one time. So let's see. Oh yeah, that worked out really well. A little light there. Let me just see if I can get Yes. Okay, so let me move that away, and then I just would use my my standard cloth to clean that. All right, now this is going to be die cut, so it doesn't need to be exactly, you know, in the center. It doesn't really matter as long as it's not hanging off the edge. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, if I had the white glass mat, I would use that, but I don't have it. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I've got just a clipboard, and I've already got a piece of just copy paper on it, and I'm going to attach this, and I'm just using, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be die cutting this, so it doesn't matter, but I'm using, this is this blue tape. It's just a low tack tape. You can use painter's tape. There's a low tack painter's tape. I just want to make sure that this isn't going to move, and I'm going to bring in the masks. All right, so this is the fun part. I've done several cards with this layer of beauty, and I've got several videos for you with the layers of beauty, but this is the first time I'm actually showing you how to do it with the masks, because there's so much you can do with this. You don't have to have the mask. So these are the masks, stencils. I don't know why Stampin' Up calls them masks, but they're essentially stencils. They're numbered. See the number? I don't know if you can see that. There's a number, it's kind of raised, and these notches. You can see all the notches all line up, and that's what's going to help you line everything up. So once you get the first one lined up, the rest of them, you'll put them in the same spot. So what I'm doing is I'm watching my outline. I'm looking at this little piece here. See how that lines up? I find the smaller ones, if I can line those up, then the rest of it comes together. So up at the top, we've got the flowers. It takes a few minutes to I'm kind of rotating it this way, exaggerating a little bit for you, but to get things lined up, and that looks good to me. All right, so now I'm gonna bring in my tape again. And I'm gonna go ahead and tape that there. And there. And then I'm gonna bring in a pencil. Where's my pencil? I'm gonna mark this notch, because then the next one that I go to line up will be really easy. See how I just made a little pencil line there? Okay, so now my first layer that I'm gonna do is the Pretty in Pink. So I'm using a blending brush. And let's see, let me set this aside. I've got my blending brush, and I'm just gonna get some ink on. I like to tap it off first, and I want to do this layer, I want to be really light. This is my background layer. And I'm only doing the big flowers. So just the big flowers. And then I'm gonna do the small flowers. So in the Petunia Pop. Now you could certainly do them all the same color. And that's the fun part of this, is really kind of exploring what different color options. I've seen blue and yellow together. I've seen the pinks, the purples. I've seen some of the like flirty flamingo with calypso coral. There are just so many beautiful different color combinations. It's just, let your imagination kind of run wild. Okay, so just a nice light layer, because you know we're gonna come back in and add another. Oh my gosh, look what I just did. Fortunately, I have a paper towel here. You can see why I got ink all over that envelope. Oh my gosh. Inky fingers, that's always a good thing, right? That's how we know we've been stamping. And I'm bringing in my, this works well. Well, it's so much for my nails. This works well on your fingers as well. All right, and I'll take this off. And then I'll just, when I'm all done, I'm just gonna run this under some water and it'll come off. You'll see that I had a little bit of staining. You can see there the purple, the petunia pop stained a little bit. So now I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna line up this corner here again, and then I'm gonna double check and just make sure it looks like it's all lined up, and it does. To me, it looks great, because you can kind of fudge a little bit up or down. So go ahead there. I'm gonna do another layer, same colors. The same petunia, or pretty in pink. And of course it's gonna be darker now because it's the second color. But I'm only doing the large flowers. Here we go. And you can just little by little add some color to it until you get whatever level of color you're comfortable with. If you want it to be a little bit more pastel, you'll be very light. You'll do very lightly. Okay. And then I'm gonna bring in the petunia pop. And this is a little more of a purple, a nice pretty bright purple. Again, one of our new in colors. And I'm gonna add that. Now, one of the advantages, if you put your tape at the top, is you can check it. I can kind of peek underneath it, I'll show you. All right, so I've got that piece of tape there. I'm gonna put another one there. No, wait, I wanna do it only at the top, like a hinge. So I can lift up and I can see, okay, I've got some good layering. I like the way that's looking. So now I can take it off and move on to the next layer. So this is layer number 3. Check my number, line it up, and one more time. Just make sure it's lined up where I want it. And this time, I'm gonna do the same thing. So everything is gonna get petunia pop this time. The big flowers and the small flowers. So there, and then the flower centers here. So if you wanted to add a little, maybe a little pop of yellow or something to your flower centers, this would be the mask. Mask number 3 would be the one that you would do that with. But I wanted to just kind of keep it a little more monochromatic, the pinks and the purples. So there we go. You see it comes together pretty quickly. Double check. Ooh, isn't that just, I just think it's so beautiful, so elegant. Okay, and then mask number 4 and 5, those are the leaves. So now I'm gonna get into my greens. So mask number 4, and for this one, I am just gonna use the Mossy Meadow. Dark, first layer is gonna be a little bit lighter, and then the second layer will be a little bit darker. So I'm just, again, watching, kind of lining it up, making sure that it looks like it's gonna be straight. Put my tape down again. Let's get rid of these colors so I don't accidentally do the wrong thing and bring in my Old Olive. I'm sorry, I said Mossy Meadow. It's Old Olive. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't get started. But it would be fine with Mossy Meadow as well. So I'm gonna do just a light brush here, all the way around, because I'm gonna come in and do a second layer that's gonna be darker. And I'm just kind of going around the clock here. Now, normally when I do coloring or watercoloring or any kind of blending brushes, I turn my card, I turn it around, but I kind of just feel like with this one, I didn't want to really take a chance on accidentally moving the mask. So I just keep it in one spot and run it around like that. Okay, here's my green. I can lift it up, check it. Perfect, just what I want. And obviously you would want to clean all of these before you would do another card because they are messy. You don't want to get the ink in spots that don't work for you. And again, just the same thing. Now I'm just gonna do a little bit heavier. I'm gonna be a little heavier handed to get a good green, a good dark green with this one. Okay, almost done. I can't wait for you to see it, and then I'll show you how we're gonna cut it. We're gonna use the trimmer to trim it so that we can attach it to our Z-fold card in a special way. So we are actually gonna do this card in my card class. I do in-person card classes in the Greensboro, Georgia area. So if you're visiting Lake Oconee in Middle Georgia and you'd like to join me, I'd love to have you. You can sign up for my newsletter to find out when I have cards. The information is going to be in the description of the video. Or you can look on my Facebook page or my website, where you can also purchase any of the items that I'm showing you today. So, well, except for the clipboard, you're on your own there. But my website is craftyherondesigns.com. There we go. Ah, oh, isn't that so pretty? Okay, now we're gonna die cut it. What do you think? Oh, I just love this. I just think there's so much depth to it. And yeah, so pretty. So now I'm gonna die cut it and attach it to our card front. Set that aside. Bring in my Stampin' trimmer. Okay, so what I want to do, I want all of this to be on my card front, and then I'm gonna cut through here. So I'm gonna try and line it up so that, let me bring in my ruler. Where is my ruler? I have my pencil. Here. So I have a clear ruler, which I really like, and I'm going to kind of line this up. I know I want this part of this petal to be on the right side. And I don't want to cut through the leaves. I don't mind if a little bit of this petal goes through. Let's see, this leaf I'm gonna have on the right side. Okay, there we go. So I'm looking at this leaf. Can you see that? Maybe I'm off the page. Here we go. All right, I wanna make sure you can see this. So this small leaf is going to the right. This big leaf is coming to the left. And that's the way I'm gonna cut through. Let me see. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a mark here and here because I know that's all gonna be die cut away, right? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I have to cut through this first. I have to, yeah, no, that would not have been good. So sorry. Let's die cut it first, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So standard cutting plates, all that work I just did, and it's gonna all be for naught. Okay. Let's go ahead and line this up. So now you could, mark it closer and then you'd know, but it'll be okay. We'll mark it again afterwards. It's probably gonna be easier to see that way. And I'm just making sure that things are pretty well lined up so that it's gonna be die cut, and just run that through my machine. Oops, sorry. Ended up with a block on the floor. I think it's gonna be fine with just going through once. Let's double check it. Yeah, it cuts out really nicely. Okay, let's move all this aside, that aside, and bring this in again. All right, and it is a little bit easier to see when you've got the trimmer here. But remember I said I wanted this little leaf to go on that side, this leaf to be on this side. I really don't even need this, but I can kind of see where that's gonna go. So I'm gonna cut it. Here's the line of the trimmer. Let me move that up a little bit more. I'm going to start on the bottom. I don't want to cut that part, but I do want to cut through right there. Okay. Oh, but I don't want that one to be cut either. So that's what I'm looking for. So you kind of line those two up, and then this one will fall into place where it needs to be. But I just want to make sure that this one doesn't go through. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I press hard so that when you go to move this up, it stays in place. Perfect, yes. Because I knew I'd get that little bit over, and I'll just trim that little bit off. Whew, okay. I'm telling you, doing these on a video, it can be a little tricky. You're like on the hot seat, and that's gonna go like that. This one I'm gonna just attach with liquid glue right there. So of course this is very easy. Just a little bit of liquid glue. Well, she says it's easy, right? If the glue comes out. And a bit like that. And I'm gonna line it up right along the white so that you don't see any of the basic white there. Okay, this one we're gonna put on dimensionals. So I bring in my dimensionals and just make sure you've got them kind of well distributed around. Be generous with your dimensionals, I think, in this situation. Some of this is gonna hang over. Well, I probably should have checked that first. Okay, I'm okay. See how this is gonna hang over the side, so I don't wanna put dimensionals there, but if you stick to the big parts, you'll be okay. I think one more there. I'm gonna put one more there for good measure. All right, we're almost done. Can you believe it? Just a little bit of bling, and your card will be ready. So, not so bad, huh? What do you think? Do you like the masks? Have you tried the masks? There was one in the spring catalog that carried over as well. That is also beautiful. I didn't get that one. I just didn't have time to work on it with everything going on in last spring. So when we got another one in this annual catalog, I thought, okay, this is it. I want to do it. And let's see, I'm going to bring in some. So these gems are the In Color gems, which are very pretty. This we've got the Petunia Pop and the Pretty in Pink, and that's what I did on my original one. But I think I want to put, I kind of like this color with it, so I'm going to use one of these. So these, oh gosh, now I can't remember the name of it. Let me look. Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. They were part of the lavender suite. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. So not quite as subtle of a look. I'll bring them both in. You can look at them side by side and see what you think. And maybe slip one more over there. There we go. Okay. I don't know. Do you have a preference for the dark gems versus the light gems? And then the other difference is the ink color. This is, oh gosh, what's the name of that one? Pebbled Path, which is a kind of a gray brown, a little more, not as harsh. This is the black. I don't think, to me, can't really, well, I guess it is just a little more subtle, isn't it? There versus there. I don't know if that shows up in the video. They're both beautiful. I mean, I don't think anybody is going to be unhappy if they get these birthday wishes in the mail, but I think I am leaning a little bit more towards the Pebbled Path. It's just a little softer. Just a little softer. Let me know if you don't mind commenting in the description. I'd love to hear from you and see if you have a preference. If you make the card yourself, I'd love to know about that. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to see other videos that I do make videos Try to submit them about once a week of a variety of things from the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and love for you to follow me. If you comment or if you like what you see and you give me a thumbs up, that helps other people find me as well, so I would appreciate that. And I hope you get some time to do something crafty yourself today, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.